Now, the chairman of the House Intelligence Committee, Republican Congressman Mike Rogers. Good to have you with us, Chairman. I appreciate your time. U.S. officials were asked repeatedly this week if Baghdadi had been killed or wounded in airstrikes. No one seemed to know anything. Now, this audio appears to be Baghdadi alive. You've been briefed. Do you have any further information on whether he was injured or even present during that airstrike?
Well, I mean, again, there's obviously, without seeing a body, it does take some time, especially when you don't have intelligence folks right there in the mix. So it's going to take some time. This is not unusual. We've seen this before in remote areas where strikes have occurred. So they're going through all their processes to check all their sources of information to see if, in fact, that was true. I have not seen anything as of today or right now that would confirm that that's his voice. It may be. There was lots of speculation that he may have been wounded, but is still alive. Mm-hmm. And the fact that it's audio and not video may lead to the confirmation of that assessment.
Right, absolutely. Obviously, we should note, obviously, even though it was audio, not video, he's sort of a reclusive guy. We actually hadn't seen a message from him, a direct message, since July. Is it a failure, though, of the intelligence system that days after these strikes, that, again, repeatedly we were told, U.S. officials citing Iraqi intelligence, that they thought he was dead, then they thought maybe he was wounded. But is it a problem that nobody appears to know what happened? I mean, Iraqi intelligence is the one who targeted this convoy, said he was there, and killed him. You would think that they would know.
Well, not necessarily. So remember, this is in some certain areas where there are no Iraqi troops, there are no Peshmerga troops, certainly there's no American troops or intelligence collectors. So it does take some time. And so, again, this is not unusual that you would see somebody who was at least believed to be killed or believed to be part of a strike, and then it takes time to make sure that there's, again, other sources. So you have human sources and other collection methods that you would use to try to figure out, is he dead or not? And this is not completely unusual. The fact that the Iraqis came out so early, we've also seen that before, where they're very aggressive about saying he was there and he's dead. Right. We always take that with a grain of salt. We give it a little time and a little space. Right. And I think, you know, again, what we're going to determine is probably going to be closer to that truth point of wounded but still alive. Right, and
interesting to the point about Iraqi intelligence, they had, you know, within the past month or so, talked about a possible attack on New York or London subways, which American intelligence then said was not accurate. But what about Baghdadi himself? Because when you are somebody that doesn't appear very often, and then all of a sudden there are reports that you're killed, but you're not killed, and you put out a release, you know, it sort of harkens back to the days of Osama bin Laden and how he used to do that. Is this something that actually is going to empower Baghdadi, give him more of a cult-like status among his followers?
You know, I don't think so. So he's risen to that level of stature of where he is today, and they'll continue to play this great cat and mouse game of where he is and where he isn't. The whole goal here has to be, can you diminish a couple of things? Their command and control, their ability to resupply themselves, or logistics, and really stop the momentum of them able to take new land. And you see a little bit of this in his conversation, where he ends up talking about other al-Qaeda affiliates or jihadist affiliates who are declaring allegiance to the Islamic State. And we've seen that, by the way, out of the 21 or so al-Qaeda affiliates we track, about half of them have pledged some sort of allegiance to the Islamic State. So he's still in pretty good shape, and it's still something that we're going to have to work on. But you need a more comprehensive strategy if you're going to contain them.
Pretty incredible that half of the al-Qaeda affiliates that you're hearing briefings on have pledged in some way to ISIS. I want to show again, though, that the video of Omar Gonzalez, the man who broke the White House security, got in, as we've reported, and you've seen this, ran across the White House lawn, got into the East Wing, got all the way to the family's residence. I don't know if you just heard the reporting that we have now, but that the Secret Service agent outside was actually on a phone call when Omar Gonzalez did this. He was on a personal phone call, didn't even have his Secret Service earpiece in. That is shocking, isn't it?
Well, to me, it's grounds for termination. If this is your assignment, this is your job, you have this is an incredibly serious work that they do. Any deviation from what is a procedure during your course of work hours is grounds for termination. I don't know all of the facts, but everything that we're seeing clearly tells me that they've got to terminate. And if they don't, this is only going to lead to more problems. They have a bit of a cultural problem brewing in the Secret Service that they need to get a handle on. It is a great service with very committed people in it, and I think if they're going to stand up for those people, they need to have very tough, I think, consequences for what happened on that particular day.
All right. Thank you very much, Chairman Rogers.